Welcome to On the Chain.
And Jason,
Ripple put this out, latest XRP markets report. They talk about, Ripple's XRP holdings. Look at this. This is a new milestone. Less than 50% of the total supply, first time ever. So it's dipped down below. So that means that between retail holders and, let's say, anybody else that has XRP other than Ripple has more than 50%, right?
So that's pretty amazing. It's an amazing development here.
It took a little over 10 years, but there you go. Talk about the state of global crypto regulation, macroeconomic moves, and on-demand liquidity. Brad Garlinghouse said this: below 50%, a huge milestone. For 10 years, Ripple has focused on using XRP and the XRPL within our products for its speed, security, and scalability for movement and value. Are you listening, SEC? As more customers use XRP in their payment flows, it's clear there's real utility here. It's like, this is what Gary Gensler and the SEC wasn't actually mentioned in this, but this is anybody paying attention or has half a brain. Who was it from The Wizard of Oz? I think I've only watched that movie maybe once all the way through when I was a kid. Wasn't a big fan. Who had half of a brain? Was it the Tin Man?
Tin Man needed a heart.
Oh, Tin Man needed
courage.
The lion needed courage. And who was the Scarecrow? Was it the Scarecrow?
There was a Scarecrow.
I don't know, man.
You probably needed a brain. That would make sense.
But check this out.
I like that last statement right there, Chip. As more customers use XRP in their payment flows, it's clear there is real utility here.
So this was the market report right here. It says, this is the quarterly market report. As an XRP holder, Ripple believes proactive communication and transparency are part of being a responsible stakeholder. You see that right there? There's another good statement.
I like that, being proactive. I like proactive communication. I like transparency, and that's right. And they are, it's very being responsible. And maybe they should make note in some of the government agencies.
If but this has been a very common theme throughout Ripple's existence. They've always believed in transparency. They've always believed that going to the SEC, hey, we're going to do this. Hey, we're going to partner with so-and-so. Hey, we're going to do this. So 8 years of that, and then drop the lawsuit. So I think this, and it's amazing too, because they did not object to the latest, and we'll get into that a little bit too, the latest amicus filings. But the notable takeaways
stuff here. Well, before you go into there, look at this other statement here. Ripple urges others in the industry to build trust, foster open communication, and raise the bar industry-wide.
Where's that? What am I missing that?
The last sentence.
Oh yeah, right there. There you go.
But I like that, trying to build industry or others in the industry to build trust. We want trust within the industry, I guess, is the important point here. And how do you foster and build trust within the industry? If you have an issue with those that are in charge of helping to push and provide clarity, always create some major issues here. But I like these takeaways, Chip. I think these are really solid. So that number one, to see that Ripple's XRP holders are now below that 50% threshold. I think the other takeaway, Chip, is that they also, from a validator perspective, they unboarded a validator. We talked about that a few weeks ago, basically shutting down one of their validators.
Well, they shut down one and they activated another one. So they have 5.8. Maybe that's 5.89. I don't know. They have 5. It's 5. It's just under 6%. So again, these are
they were over that, whatever that threshold was.
Well, they've been below 10% for a long time, but the fact is that they almost don't even matter anymore, because they're below 6%. And it's like, why isn't that ever be taught? I mean, you want to talk about decentralization. If they wanted to pass an amendment tomorrow, they could put any amendment forth for the validators to vote on. It's 6%, right? You have a 6% of your vote and you need 80% consensus. 6% is pretty negligible, right? I mean, it's almost non-existent at that point. And there's been things that amendments put forward that Ripple has vetoed or hasn't voted yes to. So let's talk about this. We have Ripple's XRP holdings These were some of the key takeaways. We're not going to get into everything, but Ripple's XRP holdings below 50% of the total outstanding supply. On-demand liquidity went live in Brazil, a key market in Latin America. And the total XRP sales by Ripple and net of purchases were 310.68 million versus 408.9 million the previous quarter. Dropped a little bit, about 100, a little over, yeah, a little under 100 million. It dropped, and that's USD.
I think this is really solid. This is really important. And a couple important aspects up here. So Jeremy Hogan had posted a really, I think, probably one of the more key points that are being made right now. And there you go. Yeah,
JW Barrett. I mean, that was the one that
Yeah.
gave the parting shot. Remember, on the way out, and he's like, "Well,
Yep.
come, let's talk. Let's stay friends."
Exactly. Yeah. So here, obviously we've discussed this, we've beat it to death here, that the SEC is improperly using the Howey test. So the SEC treating Ripple like a Ponzi schemer, not a shaper of money's future. And so there's, so if we get into this article, we don't have to go through and read this entire article, because I think you guys, you can go back and look at it and check it out and read it at length. But there are a few things that were really, really key here. One is right here, the second paragraph, which is the SEC should admit the secret. It isn't saying out loud to the court and everyone watching the case. The test used in the SEC v. Howey is typically used by the SEC to sue hucksters, Ponzi schemers, and other con men who sell fake securities. The Howey test is a way to stop them, not a means to facilitate registration with the SEC. And I think this point is really, really, well timed, but it's also very poignant. That we keep focusing on, well, they're using the Howey test, they're going after Ripple, but why do they normally go after these companies? And is the SEC, as we've discussed it so many times, are they worried about retail investors? Because typically their mission statement, Chip, as you and I have read right off their website, is to protect retail investors. So if their mission statement is to protect real estate investors, go after and use this Howey test to try to single out entities that are selling unregistered securities because they're actually, trying to con their retail investors. If that's their primary point, then why in the world are we facing what we're facing right now?
It's just it's a misstep all the way around, Jeff. No matter how you look at it, it's a misstep.
It is, yeah. So here, the Howey test is usually a cudgel to fight frauds that can't register, but it usually hasn't mattered because the underlying project is a scam and a fraud, something not alleged or contemplated in the SEC case against Ripple. Although they made some crazy statements in the beginning.
Yeah, but also too, I mean, to JW's point here, I think what's really key when he talks about, as far as you're talking about, we just talked about the transparency that Ripple has displayed throughout. They've always focused on transparency. They've always focused on going to the SEC. They've met with the SEC multiple times, and this is where that fair notice only comes into effect. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that insurance policy. Like, hey, if you're going to go ahead, you're going to go. Okay, you're going to say that they were selling securities all the time. Then all of a sudden, then you execute and then go into that. And, with the fair notice defense, we don't want it to get to that point because it really probably shouldn't.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.